In this video, we will learn how to read from a text file. Let's start up Delphi and create a new project. On the form, you can create a single button and set the caption to read from text file and have a rich edit. The rich edit is used to display the contents of the text file in this area. After you've created this interface, you can save this in a specific folder. Thereafter, open Notepad, enter a series of names. This is the file that we will read in our Delphi program and display in the rich edit. Take note, the name of the file is called name, and it will automatically have the extension txt. This file should then be saved in the same folder as your Delphi project. Let's look at how to code the button, read from text file. This is your text file with the actual names, and this is the code that's now going to link up with the text file, read the contents, and then display it in the rich edit. There's two variables. One is the file variable. The file variable is called full, and then there's a string variable called str. Since we are dealing with a text file, it's possible that the text file may not exist when you try to read it, when you try to open the text file. It could also be possible that the name of the text file that you are using is incorrect. So it is good to first check if the text file exists. There is a predefined function called fileExists. This function requires a string, which is the name of the file. This is the name of the text file. So we're checking if file exists. Well, actually, if not file exists, that is, if the file was not found. That could either be the file is not in the current location or the file name is incorrect. And if that is the case, there's no point in proceeding. Display a message and exit. Exit will mean that it now comes out of this particular procedure that we are in. The code will not proceed any further if this condition is true. However, if the condition is false, that means the file does exist, we then start working with the text file. The assign file statement is used to create a link between the internal file and the external file. Full is your internal file name in the Delphi program, and name.txt is your external. That's the external file name. So a link is created between the internal and the external. Thereafter, when I work with the file, I always use the internal file name. And in using the internal file name, I'm actually referring to the external file name.txt. Reset is opening. It opens the text file. If you want to read from a text file, think of the text file as being a cupboard. A cupboard stores information, and similarly, in this case, our text file is storing information, which is a list of names. So the text file is now open, and I am now reading information from the text file. A loop is created in order to read all the information in the text file. While it's not the end of the text file, we read information from the text file. So when the text file is open with the reset statement, a file pointer is pointing at the first line in the text file. The text file also contains a marker. This is your end of file marker, and this denotes when the end of the file has been reached. In other words, when the pointer reaches this line here, it means the end of file has been reached. So while it is not the end of the file, we go into the loop and read line. So we are reading from the file and into the variable str. So we have this variable str, and when we read, it reads the first line. So this variable is going to contain Winnie Pooh. And after the read takes place, the file pointer automatically is now waiting at the next line of the file. So whilst str contains the value that has been read, the pointer is at the next line to be read. In this case, readout.lines.add, we are displaying the value that str contains, which is Winnie Pooh. So we go back up since it's a loop. Is it the end of the file? While it's not the end of the file, true, it is not the end of the file. We've not reached that marker yet. So a second read takes place. In this case now, the pointer is at Oliver, so str will contain the value Oliver, and as the read takes place, the value is read and the pointer is now pointing at the next record. Read out then displays, so the value Oliver will then be displayed in the rich edit. We go back up the loop, it's still not the end of the file. We do a read, so str will now contain Tigger, and the pointer advances to the next line in the text file, and that value is displayed. So this takes place multiple times until we eventually read Alexander, and str will have the value Alexander in this read here. Having read Alexander, the pointer is now pointing at the end of file marker. This value is now displayed. Alexander is displayed since that's what is contained in str. And when we go back while not end of file, that condition is now false since we are at the end of the file. So that fails and the end of the program is reached. The one statement that I have omitted is the close. Once you've finished reading from the file, we close the file using CloseFile, and the variable is full. Let's look at how this program will run in Delphi. If we go into the Delphi environment and run the code that I've just explained, and if we then click on the read from text file, all the names that were in the text file will be displayed. This is how you read from a text file. I hope this video helps.